ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भुरिदा जनाः। Let us resume our discussion on Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual discourses with his intimate devotees at the house of Girish Chandra Ghosh on 25th of February 1885, right after his birthday celebration held at Dakshineshwar. He was on his way to see the drama on Vishaketun Star Theatre, and the spiritual discourses which happened in the house of Girish Chandra Ghosh was very, very elevating and significant. Sri Ramakrishna gave a simple but very deep spiritual advice to the brother of Girish Chandra Ghosh, Atul. Very simple method to realize God, which is too simple to be believed, but it works. He said, you are householders, you'll have to do both, that is, work and worship. Discharge the duties of your family life sincerely, thinking that it is God's work and you are an instrument. At the same time, call on God in your leisure hours. That's all. তোমরা ইও করবে ও করবে. You have to do both. Normally we feel that work is an impediment for our spiritual life, and we want to compromise on the work schedule in order to call on God. But Sri Ramakrishna said, no, give full attention to your duties, and whenever the time is remaining, devote it to God. That also is necessary. You cannot waste away your time. Now the neighbor asked a very pertinent question, because Atul was not a Brahmin. Then perhaps noting that, he said, because he was saying that Atul like other householders will be able to realize God. He said that, can one non-Brahmin realize God? Point blank question. Can anyone but a Brahmin achieve perfection? Now this is a sequel of a age-old dispute and debate in our country. We have to understand the significance of this question. It cannot be just wiped off, because it is present in a more serious sense even today. The caste system. Now Swami Vivekananda also had a detailed discussion in his various lectures regarding this method, this division, the necessity of caste and how to harmonize the castes. It is to be understood that this caste system is a natural consequence of the spiritual development of life, because we are having three tendencies within all of us: sattva, rajas, tamas. Sattva are those who are having equanimity of mind. Rajas, those who are dynamic. Sattva are contemplative. Rajas are dynamic, and tamas, they are inactive. The society was divided according to the predominance of these qualities in people, and those who are sattvic people, those who have a dominance of contemplation, they were assigned to do study, teaching and contemplation, and they were termed as Brahmins. And those who are busy in very active divisions of life, they were Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, and those who are not so aptitude in their understanding, they were considered the Shudras, and they are of a is more of a labor and serving the other castes. And naturally, those who are contemplative type Brahmins, they were having a better aptitude for God realization. But nowhere it has been said that the people of other castes will be debarred from God realization. Here is the dispute. So Sri Ramakrishna, in this age-old question, upheld the view that the Brahmins should not be leveled down. The prestige and honor of the Brahmins should be retained, because you call those Brahmins who are contemplative in nature, those who have a tendency to call on God and reach Him sooner than others. So their position should be upheld. Now there has been a tendency nowadays, in order to remove the caste system, is to bring everybody down to a common platform. But Swami Vivekananda's idea was leveling up, not leveling down. He said, if you want to make everybody equal to one caste, then make all castes elevated to the level of Brahmins, so that they can call on God and realize God in the quickest possible time. Because the goal is God realization for all, not meant for only one caste. Every human being is designed to realize God, and so if there is a difference in the caste system, there should be a provision so that everybody can rise his or her position from wherever he or she is and come to the level to realize God here and now. This is the gist. Sri Ramakrishna is also holding the same view as mentioned here cryptically. When it was argued that can anyone realize God who is not a Brahmin, Sri Ramakrishna didn't say yes or no. He said, why? In Kali Yuga, even the lower castes have realized God. That's what his answer. He asked that, why should we ask that? It is said that in Kali Yuga, the Shudras achieve love for God. They are the instances of Shabari, Ruidas, the untouchable Guhak, and others. Guhak Chandal, Ruidas, Shabari, etc. There are enough of instances where it has been proved that those who are born in lower castes have achieved the most exalted position of life. In this sequel, we have already discussed about Shabari at length. In this sequence, we come to the instance of Ravidas or Vedas. We had an introduction of this Ravidas in our last class, where we mentioned that Ravidas belong to a caste of cobblers, Chamar. Now, even now, when we hear that someone is Chamar, then we have a sense of inferiority complex. We think that the chamars are the lower than others in society and they are less privileged. So perhaps this reason Sri Ramakrishna took up this instance of Ravidas. There have been enough instances throughout our history, but Sri Ramakrishna mentions here three principal characters culled from the Puranas. One is Shabari, they discussed at length in Ramayana and Adhyatma Ramayana. There is the Guhak Chandal and also Ravidas. Guhak Chandal, many people know because of the propagation of Ramayana. But Ravidas is not so old and relatively recent, but the Ravidas effect is far reaching. So here in this context is better, it will be advisable for us to have little discussion about the life and performance of Ravidas. So that will give enough light over this very controversial issue. We started it. There are a lot of these magnificent stories and instances recorded in the life of Ravidas. Now we know that Ravidas was born around 1414 Isvi May. Though there are a lot of controversies about the biographers, but some people that say that he was born in 1399, but it's more authentic. He lived about 1527, so 1414 is probably the more probable the year of birth of Ravidas. And his longevity is believed to be up to 1540, that is, he lived more than 100 years. And recent researches have proved that he was born in Seed Govardhanpur near Varanasi, in the family of cobblers, the shoemakers. चमड़ा का पेशा था. रविदास जन्म काल से चमार थे. It's very interesting. His life is very, very interesting and is worth recounting in details for the benefit of one and all. Because he has given his message in forms of poems and dohas, colloquial language, and he became as famous as the gurus of the Sikh tradition, because a large number of his compositions are included in Guru Granth Sahib is included. So he was contemporary, and so three very interesting features of his life are: he was born in the family of cobblers, chamar. Secondly, he started his life with the profession of a chamar, preparation of shoes, selling at very considerable low price. to maintain his profession not only at the beginning of his life but throughout his life, even being honored as one of the greatest saints of the age. He continued his life of a shoemaker just to demonstrate, as it were, that work, whatever it be, can be converted into worship. In order to call on God, you need not go to a temple and take the job of a pujari. Wherever we are, that work becomes worship and our place of work becomes temple. This is the central message Ravidas gives by his life, not by long sermons, by his life. And there are many these incidents. This is not less than some exhibition of occult powers, अलौकिक, उनके जीवन में लिखित हुआ है. So each incident is very significant for development of bhakti in our life, devotion. That's why Sri Ramakrishna, the incarnation of God, has mentioned about his name among so many. And his language and his expression and his reaction to life is enormous, the teaching for all of us. Now, as we mentioned last time, that his father is known to be Mandas and his mother is known to be as Karma Devi or Ghur Bunia in those days. And he had a son of Vijay Das. As he was from very childhood, beside doing his professional work of shoemaking, he was spending all the rest of his time in the thought and praise of God. भगवत चिंतन में एवं भगवान के कीर्तन में अधिकांश दिन बिताते थे. He was very in this. It need not be concluded that he was insincere or something. As is thought nowadays, if anybody is retiring in the shine for longer time, it is termed that he wants to avoid work. So work and worship is always considered two distinct departments. Work is meant for our maintenance of body, earning money, and worship is done for emancipation. Though in the scriptures it has been repeatedly said that there should not be any difference between work and worship. So, with this philosophy behind, Ravidas was a person who practiced it every day in his life. So that's why Ravidas' life is tremendous effect, has a tremendous effect on all of us. So here it has been mentioned that since Ravidas was very much devoted to God, his father Mandas became a little concerned. If he leaves hearth and home and became a monk, it will be difficult. So at a very tender age, he got him married with this Karma Devi. And then this Ravidas got his son. And he thought these are blessings of Thakur, the son. So, and he was running his show, but his father was not very happy because he was not so much money oriented person. Whatever little money he will get, he will make a charity. and again make a concession to poor people. So he was not at all interested to make his profession a money earning profession. It is just a maintenance for his body and mind and household, that's all. And the remaining part, whatever remains, is to distribute, even at that stage. So when he started this program, then gradually his name and fame started spreading out like wildfire. As Sri Ramakrishna says, whenever a flower blossoms, the black bees come on their own. You don't have to give an advertisement in newspaper. The look here is a flower is blossomed. As soon as the flower is blossomed, from top to bottom, everything becomes all changed. So that's why Ravidas's life is a very, very significant life in the history of the devoted, spiritually elevated persons. Outwardly looking, he is the most ordinary life of a poor person, not worth discussing. Outwardly, he is a poor cobbler from low caste, staying in a remote village in Banaras and hardly earning any money beyond his requirement and calling on God. Very sadharan, very common life. But doing these most ordinary work, he demonstrated that he was asadharan. He was enormous. He got everything, whatever is achievable in this life. That's why his life and teachings are exemplary for all of us. Now, when his father was not very happy, he didn't quarrel with his father. He maintained his own household and sincerely continued to call on God. And he said that he got initiation from Ramananda, who was also guru of Bhakta Kabir. Some people say he was a disciple of Kabir, but the more authentic source is that he was Guru Bhai of Kabir. Kabir also got initiated from Ramananda. Ramananda was a Brahmin guru and he chose his two initiated, this Ravidas. He mentioned, and he mentions also, is interesting, that the secret of his spiritual success is devotion to Guru. If one is devoted to Guru, then success is sure to achieve. That is what we study in the scriptures. Guru Vakya Vishwas. This Sri Ramakrishna also saying so many things repeatedly. He told to Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyaya also that if one has intrinsic faith on the Guru, the representative of the Almighty, then the simple mere Guru Bhakti will lead us to the goal. So now, with this idea behind, he was leading a very ordinary life. But nevertheless, his name and fame went far and wide, and the renowned Mirabai, the princess of Rajasthan, came running and took initiation from Ravidas. It is said that Ravidas there are various extraordinary events in his life. I'll just mention a few in today's class. one great monk came to visit Ravidas in his household, and in his praise he was surprised to see the poor condition of Ravidas. He noticed that Ravidas is a great devotee, भक्त है, लेकिन गरीब है, जूता बनाकर पैसा वो निकालता है, और वो भी जितना मिलता है वो बंटवारा कर देता है. So he gave, when he was very much moved, he said, look, I am giving you a stone, it's a touchstone. You have got all these iron with hand instruments. You touch this stone with those instruments, they will become gold. You can sell them and get a lot of money for maintenance of your rest of the life. He insisted and gave it to, forced it to Ravidas and went away. Now Ravidas thought to himself and told to this person, I do not want anything from anybody. God has given me everything. All I want is devotion to his lotus feet. So I will not use this touchstone. It was kept on the thatched roof of Vedas, and this person, this wandering monk, came back after 1.5 years. And he found that Ravidas has not used that touchstone. Seeing his great renunciation, he was visibly moved and advised him to proceed to a place where people will appreciate. But he said no. He didn't have any pilgrimage. He stayed wherever he is. It is said that God himself came in the guise of a mendicant and tried to test his renunciation. Now, seeing his great name and fame, that even people from higher caste is coming and taking initiation from him, the Brahmins of Benares lodged a complaint to the king of Benares that this low caste man has jeopardized the whole social fabric here. Now he doesn't have any right to call on God, because in those days and even before, that the low caste people are debarred from spiritual sadhana. It was so much prevalent that even in Bhagavad Gita we get a mention. Sri Krishna says, Stiyo Vaishya Jata Tata Shudro, Arthat, even the women and the people belonging to the caste of neither Brahmin nor Kshatriyas, they can also realize God. That is, they can also mean that normally they are debarred. It was believed that even women are not competent to realize God. It's very peculiar. So, in this scenario, we have to understand the message of Sri Ramakrishna today. That what a great contribution he made. So, just in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says that even they are eligible to realize God. Matlab, it is normally they are not eligible. So, even against the local, the common belief, you have to emphasize. So, here also, the Brahmins of Kashi, they lodged a complaint to the king of Banaras. Now, he could not make out a head or tail what to do. So he said that, okay, I leave it to Paramatma. I'll install a murti of Paramatma in the court. Let each group come and pray. And to whatever group this deity will respond, will win. So that was his proposal, and whoever wins will have the authority, and those who will be defeated will take his carriage all around the city and publicly declare their defeat. So as a test what he did, he said, I do not have the capacity to test who's closer to God. So he kept a image of God, an image of God in the court. He said, let each group come and worship, and if God responds to any group, he will be the winner. So all the Brahmins with very, very pride, they came and they started worshipping that Murti in a very elaborate fashion, but nothing happened. The Murti remained as it was. And finally, when the turn of Ravidas came, though he didn't want to participate in this competition, but he didn't believe that the devotion should be tested in such a way in a public forum. But when he was somehow requested and convinced, the test was this: the Murti was worshipped by every group or by turn. The Murti remained as it is. But when the turn of Ravidas came, they found to their surprise that the Murti has left his throne and is seated in the lap of Ravidas. रविदास की गोदी में वो मूर्ति बैठे हैं. Seeing that in front of all the Brahmins and other courtesans of the Sabha became surprised that God is present in his body in a living form. So naturally everybody was impressed. But the Brahmins, they were not happy. So they went on further and they say that, okay, Ravidas may be good, but then his practices are very non-spiritual. This is not advisable. So like we are doing the Shalagram Shila, worship of Shalagram Shila, the symbol of Narayana, the special features. But he is not doing any worship like that. He should do it. When it was asked to Ravidas, he said that my hand instruments are my Shalagram Shila. That is my God. With them I work. I don't have the necessity to have an external advisor. I follow the dictates, and then whatever is the blessings I get, that is enough for me. So they say it is all bogus. How it can be your Shaligram Sila, your hand instruments in making shoes? So again the matter was deferred, and then there is an order that the Shalagram Sila should be sent to the river, and whosoever Shalagram Sila floats, he will win. Naturally, the Brahmin Shalagram Sila was thrown in the water and it all drowned. But when the turn of Ravidas came, then it was found to the utter surprise that the Shalagram Shila, what Ravidas was worshipping in the form of his instruments, they were floating, iron instruments, they were floating in the river, where the other people's Shalagram Shila got drowned. So Ravidas says, whatever work we do, that is our worship, and the items whatever items we perform, that is representation of the divine. Not only believed, it was demonstrated in front of all. So they became very much embarrassed. But there was another problem, that those who were from higher caste, they were condemned. Why did they leave their caste and became the disciple of Ravidas? But they said that we are overpowered by his spiritual power. So Mirabai was not exception. Mirabai was a Rajkumari, so she came one day and told Ravidas ji, it isn't befitting that you being my guru is spending such a poor life, Gariba ka Jivan. So I am giving you one paras money. you touch it with all your borders and they will become gold. But Robida says, I have nothing to do with those Parasmani. If you are having any problem to come near me because of your position in society, you need not come. You call on God. You need not come anywhere. Call on God wherever you are. God will bless you. Mirabai came and forcibly kept that Parasmani in the outskirts of his room and went away. But when she came back after a year, she was surprised to find that Ravidas is continuing to be same poverty-stricken life. And when he asked where was this touchstone, she found it is the same place wherever she kept it. So Ravidas has not utilized the touchstone. So here the demonstration of Ravidas saying that God has not created any distinction among human beings who can worship Him and who cannot. It is all created by human beings only. Everyone is welcome to call on God and realize God in this very life. That is his saying, that is his life, and there is a demonstration God has made through him, which we'll elaborate further in our next Sunday class, which will be 2 weeks from now. Because following week will be the spiritual retreat as a concluding ceremony of the Holy Mother's birthday celebration. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampasrita vigraham bhai Ishavataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam shivasa namama. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. We close now with the chanting of the Lord. Please join with me. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om.